Hello and welcome to The Unexpected List. I'm Will, and with me as always is my only contestant,
Sarah.
And the way The Unexpected List works is pretty simple. I give Sarah a topic and she gives me the first 5 board games that come to mind. Now, the important part is she has no ability to research or prepare for this list in any way.
I have no idea what the topic is until it comes out of his mouth in a few moments.
Sarah, are you ready for the topic that's going to come out of my mouth in a moment?
No, I'm never ready, but go ahead.
Today's Unexpected List is classic.
Huh.
All right, we're back with Sarah's unexpected stack. And this does not look like Monopoly or Clue or Sorry or
You know,
Life.
I thought about it, but we do have a couple of copies of Monopoly that we like, Monopoly City.
Do we have Life?
We don't have Life, but that was one I did play when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
So I for my criteria of classic is obviously games that I felt are classic in the terms of either like from my childhood, so older games, or just ones that I think are like modern classics. And again, a thing to me about classics and what I was thinking here is also easy to play, kind of easy to learn. Now, Dominion might be a little outside of that realm, but it is one of our modern classics. So
Yeah. And then that's why I wanted to ask it, because a board game enthusiast's definition of classics is going to be very different than
right.
a general popular idea of classic.
Agreed. And that's why I tried to go for a mix.
Right.
Things that represented things that I played a long time ago and or just old games. So let's start with Milborn's. Borns? Yes, it does have an S. I don't know if you actually pronounce it with the S.
Don't think
Is it
you do?
Milborn? I've always
pronounced it Milborn.
I think for those of us who know that this game exists, probably played it a lot when they were kids. That's at least for me. It's not a perfect game. In fact, I think it has some flaws to it, but I always enjoyed it. I mean, maybe as a kid because you always wanted to be able to drive and things like that. This kind of gives you that way to do it. But then it's also, if I remember correctly, a lot of number based.
Yeah, it's a lot of adding up to get so many miles.
So this was always encouraged to be played because it was, I wouldn't call it educational, but it developed math skills.
That was the first one I was thinking with classic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think you and I have played
We used to
this.
play it when we first were dating.
Yeah, when we were first dating, your eyesight was better. We definitely didn't have a lot of games. I don't think this is the copy I had as a kid. I don't know. It does have a Payless sticker on it for $4.49.
It might have been.
It might be the copy that I had when I was a kid, and I'd play it with my aunt and my grandparents. Those were the people I played games with when I was a kid that I remember. Definitely one of my favorites.
All right, number 2.
All right, Ink and Gold would be, I think, what I would consider a more modern classic.
Yeah.
It is one of the earliest games that we got that was on the lighter scale of things. We also could play it with so many more people. Now, granted, it's 3 to 8 players, so now that it's you and me, this doesn't see the table very often. But we played it with your parents. We've played it with lots of friends. I don't think I managed to get it together with my family, but my family was always a bit more board game resistant as a whole.
They just don't want to be Jumanji'd.
Yeah, they don't. So, Ink and Gold, I think the only thing we ever have a problem with this is the vision accessibility with those cards. The good news is they're reprinting it. And from what I've seen of pictures, the Are You Staying, Are You Going cards are much clearer. But we always had a fun way to get around that in that we just got some stones. Where are they?
Yeah, some glass stones.
Where did they go? Oh, they're in the middle. So yeah, we just got these glass stones from like the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, we hide them under.
Yeah, you put them in your hands.
We put our hand up, and
and
if
then-
you're trying to go for more, you leave your hand open because you're going to grab more. But if you're going to take what you have, you open and reveal the stone.
Yep. So that was a very easy accessibility modification that didn't really require any modification.
All right. Number
3 are we? Yes, 3.
Number 3.
Quicks Deluxe. Now, I think just Quicks in general. This particular copy has seen a lot of play, and the dry erase boards, I think, are about done.
Yes. They don't sell that model anymore because,
Right.
well, I think the dry erase has issues.
This is, if I remember correctly, an older game. Well, of course, this box isn't going to tell me. So it's a classic, I think, in a lot of sense, in that it is an older game, but for us also one of the first games we got when we got into the hobby over 10 years ago now.
Yes.
And it's been so easy to teach people and play. I played the heck out of this with my coworkers. They did get tired of it after a while because we were playing it and playing it and playing it. And then finally it's like, okay, come on, let's play a different game.
Right.
But highly enjoyable. One of the first roll and writes I think we played. And that it sparked our, I wouldn't say love, but our interest. It sparked our interest in finding other roll and writes.
Yeah, it gave us confidence in the fact, like, yeah, well, we know Quicks, so how much tougher is this than Quicks?
Yes.
Some of them turned out a lot more complicated.
Hadrian's Wall is in a league of its own. Very
Three Sisters.
Yeah, Three Sisters and those kind are very different.
Okay, number
All right.
4.
So this is Dominion, specifically guilds. Let me pop up the box a little. So Dominions in general, although I wanted to pull out Prosperity, but for us it's in our big box because that was the very first game we got when we got into the modern hobby and we were leaving Magic the Gathering behind.
Granddaddy of deck builders.
Yes. We got the big box. It had Prosperity, the base game, and Alchemy. I fell in love with Prosperity. I mean, I fell in love with Dominion. And Guilds kind of follows in Prosperity's footsteps of big money and just going with big combos. And part of what I really enjoyed of Magic the Gathering was doing amazing big turns. So I loved green decks or big fireballs or whatever. And Dominion kind of replaced Magic the Gathering for us. And very specifically, those particular expansions, Prosperity and Guilds, were some of my favorites in it. So Dominion overall. Dominion overall is a modern classic. And I often, when someone wants to start playing, will say, hey, if you want something more than just vanilla, take a look at these ones.
All right. And number 5.
I have heard this. Oh, it's a hinge box.
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay, let's lift it this way. It's a little dished, but I've heard it called Rummy Cube. I've heard it called Rummy Cub. My parents, my grandparents, my aunt, we always called it Rummy Cube. It doesn't have an E at the end, and it's with a K, so I don't know. But you know how it is when you're a kid. Someone says it a certain way. That's how you say it. Anyways, Rummy and tile laying. This, when I was a kid, I don't know how to say it. It kind of blew my mind because, Monopoly, Life. Clue got a little more gamery.
Right.
But when it came to actually strategy, because I love playing Rummy, just the card game Rummy with my family. But then getting this just added that extra physical element.
Very early on.
Very early on. So this made a huge impression on me. Unfortunately, even when I played it with my grandparents and aunt, the color accessibility on this is terrible. The orange and red, this is not the copy I had as a kid. That copy had a black mark on every, I think it was either orange or red. I don't remember which one they marked.
You're right. But you picked one and this is the pattern.
They did a Sharpie circle on every single one of them because even as a kid, I had trouble telling the difference between them. You have taken this copy and brailled the color,
right,
but not the number, because when we were playing this, your vision was better.
Right. So now I have to go and re-braille something. Because
we haven't played this in a decade, probably, since when we first really started getting into games. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a really good one.
Let's just say it's been a while. Long enough that at this point, because you need to keep your tiles secret, just having the color brailled is not enough. You'd need the number.
Right. When was it?
I don't remember. So
I'm trying to even think when we brailled that thing.
Maybe it's one of those things we brailled it with the intention to play it and we never did, because I honestly don't remember playing this with you. But then again,
I remember playing it, but
okay, my memory's terrible anyways. So these are my 5 Classic that are either childhood classic or modern classic, that kind of mix of representation. I thought of other ones, but this is what I settled on.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if you're even going to remember that you had the Rummy Cub.
Yeah.
Rummy Cube.
Whatever. Yes, I had to unbury it because it was at the bottom of a cube with a lot of stuff stacked on top.
With your socks. Bottom of the sock drawer.
Bottom of the sock drawer. All right, Will. What are your favorite classic games?
I was always a big fan of Racco.
Oh, okay. That's one I actually never played.
Yeah, it was an interesting sequencing game, and you had to make strategic choices because you'd fit them in a rack, and you'd have the perfect number that would fit between two cards, but you didn't have the room there, and you couldn't just immediately I'm just going to rearrange. You actually have to choose when you're tossing cards and when you're picking up cards. So Racco was always fun. Skippo was a big name in my family, and we played it for years and years.
Yeah, and I had never heard of that game until you told. Have we actually played it, or do you just show it to me? I don't think we've.
I think I might have showed it to you,
but I don't think we actually ever sat down to play it.
Right, we might have a copy somewhere.
Yes.
Chess.
Oh yeah.
That was actually the first game I was ever taught when I was 4 years old.
I still can't believe that, but
it wasn't
cool.
Yeah, it wasn't until high school that I was actually able to beat my dad.
Right.
At chess. And there was one other I was thinking about. There's chess, Skippo, I guess Uno.
Yeah, that is a classic one, and I remember playing that. I actually remember playing that a bit more with kids my age, although when that occurred, I don't know. Yeah, being a only child growing up, I wasn't around a lot of other kids.
But talk about a mean game.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's only gotten meaner with certain variations that they've done.
Yeah, especially if you're getting down 2 players and it's skip.
Yeah.
Okay, skip.
Ugh.
Okay,
and that's where we get the more modern design don'ts of basically don't skip a turn. If you're telling people to skip a turn, why, it's basically don't play this game.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Well, that's cool. Okay.
There you go.
Classic games.
Very classic. So, go ahead and in the comments below, tell us what your classic games are. And unlike Sarah, you can choose and do all the research you want to give us an answer.
Yep. Call up your family members. What game was that thing called that we used to play with the thing? Yeah.
The thing with the thing. And we've been Rolling with Two. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two. That's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.